What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? Welcome to another month, this will be Monday when you're listening to this. So welcome to Monday's episode. I believe this one is going to be 205, if my number is correct. If not, then it's on the thumbnail. My bad. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So for those who are new to us, Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesdays are our discussion. Thursday, sometimes I do an Ask SSP where I talk to somebody trying to break into cybersecurity. And then Fridays, we talk about everything else. We call it the weekly rundown. So if you want to hear what we watched or talked about or read or just anything that's not cybersecurity related, typically, that's our Friday episode. So continue to like, share, and subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. Without further ado, I give it to LeVon.
Yes, sir. So I got a pretty interesting article for you guys today to discuss. This one's from infosecuritymagazine.com, and it's by Benjamin David. And the title is called Electric Vehicle Chargers Hacked to Show Porn. So in this article, owners of electric vehicles in the Isle of Wight in the United Kingdom were shocked today after public charge points were hacked to display pornography. While service screens at the council's car parks were supposed to display websites, hackers changed a number of them to show explicit images. It goes on to say that the charge points affected were part of the ChargePoint Genie network, although they were transferred to the Genie Point network. Essentially somebody was able to, or some people were able to get into these charging stations and modify the images, take it off the website and put on these pornography related images on there. And of course they were, they said they were saddened to learn that the third party website was changed and because it had been hacked. But it kind of goes to show that, anything that's kind of plugged up into a network can be potentially hacked. One thing that was kind of brought up towards the end of the article that we kind of chatted about before the show today, one of the cybersecurity experts, he was remarking about juice jacking, which is kind of a long-standing technique where, similar to where, you go to an airport, you see like the charging ports, maybe you see like a USB jack in the wall or something like that, that you can plug into. Or if you have some sort of if you buy like a cheap cable from overseas, something like that, they may have some malicious software or something like that embedded in it. You can plug your devices into it, and all of a sudden your device is compromised. So this kind of makes you think about it in respect if you have like a electric vehicle and all of a sudden you're trying to use one of these charging stations and you plug into it, and all of a sudden your car's driving you off of a cliff somewhere because it's hacked and somebody just take control of the steering wheel, and all of a sudden you just can't control it. That's something that something to be aware of, or something to be thoughtful of when you're plugging into these charger stations. I mean, this hasn't become a big widespread issue, but it's kind of scary that these hackers are able to get into these charging points and be able to modify them however they did. Just imagine them put some malicious code in there where you plug your car into it, and all of a sudden, they download the virus or whatever into your vehicle, and all of a sudden they can access, even if they don't control the vehicle, maybe they have access to the information that's in your vehicle. Maybe they know your home address, and maybe they know some of your banking account information, whatever you store in there. Because I think there's some sort of charging, use a charge station and you get billed for it or something to that effect on the back end. So they could potentially get access to your banking account information. But it's kind of concerning, but it's one of those things we got to be smart. You got to keep an eye out for. But with that, Shannon, do you have some thoughts on this one?
I do. So I'm curious how they figured this out, right? I wonder if it was because you had a lot of guys going to charge their car every hour, right? Like they come home and then they started telling their girlfriends and their wives, oh, I gotta go charge the car again. You know what I mean? After about an hour, they're like, what's going on?
That's right. I didn't think about that one.
Somebody go to the station and be like, oh,
right.
That's why they keep charging up the car. No,
keep back sweating. What's going on?
Yeah. Charging these cars. It's hard work.
For work, baby. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. But no, this was interesting to me, right? Because as I was reading it, and like you were kind of giving the behind the scenes, right? Like we talked about it before we even went on and started to record. But like the whole juice jacking thing, like my mind went to something different from what you caught on to, which I think was like really the point of what's going on here. Because like when I think juice jacking, I think about how they tell you, like at the airports, they have a lot of they have those charging stations that already have the USB ports with like uh the different ends to them, for like different phones, and like people just go up like, oh, that's great, you know what I mean? But this is one of those things where that's not safe. That hasn't been safe for a long time, you know what I mean? It's a good probably 8-9 years or so, right? They tell you to be careful about those, right? Like if you're gonna charge your phone in a public place, like bring your own cord, right? Which even with your own cord, like you mentioned, you got to be careful with what you're getting there, but actually plug into an outlet. You know what I'm saying? Don't use those stations, because it's not as safe. But yeah, this was an interesting read for me, man, because the whole juice jacking, like I said, when I saw juice jacking, I was like, well, how does that work? I was like, because I can't replace the cable on the charging port from my car, you know what I mean? But like the point is, it could be used to act as the malicious vector there, right? So like you go, especially with these cars nowadays, right, with the computers and the technologies that's in them and everything, right? Like you'll have all types of stuff downloaded to your car to where all of a sudden, like you said, you're on auto drive when you don't need to be, right? You're driving off
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I think I saw that in the episode of Elementary one time, man. Like it was interesting. But no, this is something that with the way the world is going today, like when it comes to electric vehicles, that's one of those things where especially over in the UK, like they're trying to get ahead of the game really fast on that. You know what I'm saying? So this could be something that's more of a widespread problem. That's not something as entertaining as this one is, right? Just showing pornographic images, but it could be something where malicious software is put on your vehicle and just crazy things are happening. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I've never been to the UK, but in Germany, charge stations are everywhere, right? So they're big on EV, like you said, like parking lots full of charging stations. So it could become a problem. It could be a vector in the future. They didn't really explain how the images got on the pumps. Like I would assume either the website was hacked or maybe they were able to connect to a diagnostic port or something like that. But like you guys said, we all three of us got a different interpretation of what happened. So I thought that was pretty cool because there's a little nuance in the article. Like maybe they don't want to explain exactly how the hackers breached the pumps, which is smart. But yeah, ultimately, if the pump is compromised, now your car can be compromised. It's not like a regular car, right? There's no malicious software going through the diesel or the unleaded. But in this case, you are directly connected to the pump. So maybe you get the pornographic images on your car, or like LeVon said, they start to exfiltrate data, and now they have your personal identifiable information, or they drop a payload. And no cars driven off cliffs yet, but trust me, we'll definitely report on that as soon as it does happen. But yeah, it does suck that this happened. I mean, it's funny to us, but if I were the person pumping my gas, and I'm a little bit more prudish about it, I would be kind of upset. Like I don't want to start my day with this nonsense. But yeah, definitely clever way of manipulating the gas pump. But ultimately, yeah, everybody should be concerned because this is another attack vector. It's bound to happen. We just don't know in what shape or form. So just keep on the lookout, be careful. And like Shannon said, I never plug into the USB on the charging stations at the airport. Like I don't know what's behind it, right? Like what's on the other side of that port. So I always plug in using power, the old school way, right? So just be careful. But in this case, nothing you could do about it. Like you have to charge your vehicle, right? So you just gotta trust that the good guys are protecting you and the pumps from here on out. Well, with that, I'll go ahead and end this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion. Tomorrow will also be another good topic. And then Fridays for everything else. So if you want to hear what we watch, listen to, all that good stuff, hit up the web or hit up our social media, because we no longer have a website, but hit up our social media. It all has our name. Hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.